friend, a fellow Casady student, and a person longing for a purpose in life. Senior speeches are some of my favorite parts of the year because it's when underclassmen get to hear wisdom from the seniors and hear stories that can give you totally new insight into a person. Today, I'm here to take a different approach to my senior speech than you might be expecting. High school is a time to engage in unique experiences that teach us about ourselves. I'm going to talk about an amazing experience that I had recently. As a few of you know, in March of this year, I had the opportunity to be an exchange student for 2 weeks in Amiens, France, which is a city about a 2-hour drive north of Paris. I went on scholarship as part of the Alliance Française Franco Fellows program, and as part of my trip, I was to conduct research on French culture. I thought, I'm in France. What better thing could there be to study than French food? It's easy enough. Although the trip proved to be more stressful than I pictured, my research brought me to thoughtful conclusions. My trip proved to me, language is a tool that ties us together as humans, and as we study it, we can find things in common with people who were once strangers but are now friends. And what I hope you get out of this chapel talk is an appreciation for different cultures and to see how much you can get out of taking a foreign language for all 4 years in high school. Thank you for that. I came into this trip with the question, are traditions of cuisine changing in France? And how are the traditions of food different in France versus the United States? Mr. Party helped me create questions to investigate French stereotypes, but I honestly came into my trip with the mentality, I'm here to experience and soak up as much French culture of food as I can, and then draw conclusions from there. To divide up my research, I will first start with what food in a French home is like. Slide, please. French mealtime. Oh wait, Harry, do the slide. Okay. French mealtime is special. I had 2 host families, and both had different approaches. In my first family, each meal was long and consisted of courses, first with appetizers and vegetables, then the main course, which was typically made in an oven, and then cheese and meat, and then dessert, which consisted of yogurt and pudding. My second family's meal rituals were more similar to mine in Oklahoma, where we eat the main course and the side dishes at the same time. In France, this seems to come down to each family's preference, but it's most common to have long meals on Sundays and for special occasions like birthdays and holidays. We ate lots of carbohydrates, potatoes, lots of ham, salad with vinaigrette. Everything was light and left you feeling full and good. That leads to a big theme and difference in French cuisine that I found, which is the idea of eating good. While interviewing my host mom, she said, when we eat good food, we feel good. We can spend a little extra money to eat good food. Here in the US, we predominantly prefer the greasy taste of food rather than the good feeling after we eat. After many conversations with my host families, I gathered that French families throughout the years have definitely experienced changes in their traditions. However, the spirit of French food, the eating good, is what they passed down and what is here to stay. The second phase of my research consisted of what I'll call the workforce. Firstly, bread, the baguette, has been and remains extremely important to the French. I had the opportunity to interview 2 bakers. Mr. Party called me ask about a tradition of little kids coming into bakeries to buy baguettes and bread for the family. Bakers and my host families confirmed that this tradition still exists. It's easy in the little villages. The bakers stressed it's an important rite of passage for kids, as it is a learning experience for commerce. They go and ask, excuse me ma'am, can I have a baguette please? They hand them a couple of euro coins and they are proud of getting the bread. The second workforce aspect I investigated was the chef. I had the opportunity to go to a French culinary school for a day and cook the courses for a dinner crowd and then plate them for customers. I also interviewed the chef of the kitchen at work. First, I want to provide you a picture of the setting. I'm one of 9 workers. These are final year students, learning to be cooks. I'm an American girl. None of them speak English well at all. I stumbled my way around with one fellow American until I found a boy who basically apprenticed and taught me. Picture us deboning a rabbit, him explaining everything to do and guiding my hand, all in French, and I'm trying my very best to keep up. Important note, I can't cook, so it's that much harder. He would say, couteau, couteau. What do these words mean? It meant knife, and O means bone. I was learning the language on the field, on my feet. Now, the chef was a tall, broad-shouldered, gray-haired French man with poor eyesight so that his glasses made his eyes appear bigger. He wore the white chef hat. It got exciting in the kitchen when the food wasn't being prepared quickly enough. He just started shouting in French, and the students scrambled. However, he was very kind to me, and he even let me have a full serving of the tiramisu and ice cream that we made from scratch. When I interviewed him, I asked what the difference was between a cook and a chef. He said it comes down to humility. He says he knows several great cooks, but they're not chefs. Chefs have to know how to do everything. And for the 8 students I was with, he says not all of them will go on to be great. The final exam is that in 4 hours, they must make 3 courses consisting of an appetizer, main course, and dessert, all while directing first-year cooks. But what he said about humility most supports the spirit of French food. He said, traditions of food are always changing due to immigration, demographic changes, and evolving tastes. But what remains is the desire to sit and enjoy meals together, and to do it with a purpose. To conclude, the baker, chef, and my family all agree, day-to-day customs with food are always changing, but some traditions will always stay, although their forms may change. From what I've gathered, the spirit of French food, eating good, remaining humble, and preserving traditions are the key components constituting French cuisine and what makes it so outstanding. And sometimes changes in traditions are for the best. This trip circles back to my own curiosity for languages. It comes down to humility, which is connected to empathy. Having experienced both sides of student foreign exchange, I can say that when you first meet a foreign exchange student, they're at a power disadvantage. It's hard to communicate, and culture shock is a real thing. But when you talk to someone in their native language, you live in their shoes, and you see their real personalities. Being able to connect with people to the most real level allowed for connections I could have never had if I wouldn't have studied French. It was amazing. My empathy and understanding for others now transcends languages. I promise I'm wrapping it up. I want to thank the teachers who I can honestly say helped me discover parts of who I am. For listening to my weird thoughts and letting me ask you questions, I want to thank Mr. Marley, Coach Snyder, and Mr. Pardue. And to the student body, thanks for making Casady exactly the accepting community that we need to discover who we are. We're a group of students who support each other, and Casady has been a safe place to find out what you like to do, how you want to express, and choose who you want to be with. Drew, Bianca, Caroline, Cynthia, Sophia, you all know what you mean to me. And for those who were here for Middle Division, you'll remember, the Casady community is one strange boat where we discover things together. But I know we can all grow to be great people, because that's what Casady has prepared for us to do. Thank you.